Mastering is the final step before releasing your song to the world, but it's often misunderstood by beginners. Some people think that it's too simple, while others find it overly complicated, but everybody knows that mastering is the last piece of the puzzle that can make or break your song's success. But don't worry, mastering doesn't have to be so complicated. I remember when I started mastering my song, I made all the common mistakes: overloading effects, ignoring the tonal balance, and ending up with tracks that sounded really terrible, but I learned from those mistakes and now I am here to help you avoid them. In this video, I will guide you through the essential steps to mastering your music. Trust me, it's much easier than you think. Hi there, I am DJ Legion from AudioWaves Academy, and before we even start mastering, it is important to make sure that the mix is perfect. Imagine you are editing a book, for example, and if the plot is terrible, no amount of editing will fix it. So mastering, keep that in mind seriously, is for fine-tuning a great mix, but it cannot correct big issues and mistakes. Enough with the talking, let's go on our project, and I'm going to divide today's video in 3 sections. The first one is going to be the fixing section, where we are going to talk about what you can go and fix, some small stuff that you can change here. The other one is going to be the coloring section, where we are going to use some plugins to color the sound that we like. And the final stage is going to be the mastering section, where we are going to talk about clipping and limiting. Now let's go on our fixing section. The first thing that I hear and I see right away here is that the waveforms are too big. So that means we have to check our headroom. Why you want to do that is because you need to have enough headroom. This means making sure that your mix isn't too loud before you start mastering. Ideally, your mix should peak around -6 dB. For example, if I go and play here, you're going to see that I am picking all over the place. If I could take out also the drums. Again, everything is so loud. Now let's go and do on all the tracks some gain staging. I selected them, and here above you can see that I can go and turn down the gain, and let's check out, for example, -7, and see how much headroom we have now. Okay, now we have at -5 somewhere there. We can still work with that. You can go also lower if you want, but it's okay right now. After making sure that we have this headroom, our next step is to go and check the balance of your track. That means you're going to make sure that nothing from these elements stand out too loud in comparison with the others. For instance, let's listen carefully to see if any elements like vocals or the drums or the instrument or the bass are too loud in comparison with the others. In my ears, I find that the vocals are a bit louder in comparison with the rest, so let's go and take them down a bit. So I found the sweet spot here is 1.5 dB reduction. So now for me it sounds much more cohesive. Now that we made sure that we have a good balance and gain stage mix, our next step is to go and find these rigging points on your master with the EQ on linear phase mode. For this purpose, I'm going to use here the Pro Q3. And these are the settings that I had earlier, but I will show you also how you can go and fix it. By the way, this is bit too much because somehow on my mix, on this mix, I have a big peak here, which I don't know where it comes from, but I have to take it out, so that's why you're going to see like a big dip. Actually, this is not how you are going to do your own master, but I'm just explaining this one. Here on my master, I got the ProQ on linear phase mode because we don't want to introduce any phasing issues. Let's go here and see. I'm just taking out the stereo information here from the low frequencies. And if you are going to listen, you will not find so many here. But if you see the graph, this one section here, you're going to see that they exist. Now our next step is to go and find these ringing points that I mentioned earlier. So my just simple method is just double click here and make the Q really narrow and just use it like this. For example, this section here, I can hear right away that when I go with listening this section, you're going to see a big change of level. So that means you're going to hear that this becomes a bit louder from your speaker. So this is a good indication that some ringing points there, you can go and attenuate them. Now the next step is to go here and use the dynamic equalizer, just take out a bit, like 4 dB somewhere there. And then I'm going to open a little bit the Q because I don't want it to be like a filter in this section only. As you are seeing here, I am just attenuating, I am not boosting. I just want to fix these small ringing problems that I think I can fix them by EQing. Also, the other sections sound like this. And now I'm going to bypass it while it's being played, but to say the truth, it will be a bit difficult for you to hear right away if you don't have any big speakers or headphones. Before we move on, I want to share something really exciting with you. If you're serious about mastering your music and you want to dive deeper, check out my online course in the link in the description below. In this course, I cover everything you need to know about mastering from the basics to advanced techniques. I have had over 750 satisfied students across all my courses, so I believe this proves something. Now let's go back to mastering. My next plugin here that I'm going to use is just a little bit compression with a FabFilter Pro C2. And these are the settings that I have right now. I have a slow attack and a medium release somewhere there. And the ratio is on 2:1. And the gain, I'm just boosting a little bit manually. As you see here, I am not doing too much. I'm just having like a 2 dB reduction from the compression, and I'm just putting it back with a gain here. And I have a lot of space here for the transits to come through, and the ratio is on 2:1, so not such a big thing, but in my ears it makes the track sound glued a bit more as it was earlier. Now let's go on our next phase, which is going to be the coloring. For the coloring, we are going to use two EQ plugins. These are one of my favorites, and the first one is going to be the Box EQ, the Dangerous Box EQ Master. And if you have a look here, I am boosting somewhere like 2 dBs, 2.5, somewhere there, at 3.4. And have a listen how it is with and without. It opens the mix right away. I am, as already said, I am boosting just a little bit here, but this EQ is such a great EQ in my opinion. I really love it. And now let's go on my next EQ plugin, which is going to be the UED, the Manley Passive here. This is also a really great plugin for your coloring EQing. And here I am just boosting just a little bit on 16K, like 2 dBs somewhere there, and also on 4K, 4K7, and here also like 3 dBs. Have a listen how it is with and without. Gives such a nice high boost there. It's also so smooth. I really love it, seriously. By the way, this is more like a personal preference. You don't have to do it like this, but I think that when you put also some coloring EQ in there, you are giving also your personal opinion about what you think about the final master of the track. Now let's go on the final stage, which is going to be the mastering. In this section, we are going to decide our goal for the final result. So what are you aiming for? For example, if you're making EDM track, a common target is around -6, -8 LUFS. It is really important to know your target loudness because this will guide you to your mastering decisions and will help you achieve this consistent sound that we talked earlier. So I'm going to open now my first plugin that comes on this mastering stage, and remember, I want to keep it as simple as possible because we can go like a 15 master chain here, but most of the times you don't need so many plugins if your mix sounds really great. The standard clip is a clipper plugin, and if I go and activate it, you're seeing here that it doesn't do so much. I'm just saving just a little bit these peaks here, and I have the oversampler on 16 and the ceiling on off, yeah, and I just want it on the hard clip. So right now, let me open the multimeter, have a look here on our peak, how it is before. Minus 3.9, and if I go and activate it, we have much more space right now. So right now we are hitting minus 5.4, so that means nearly 1.5 dB. So that means I can push the limiter higher. So now let's go on the limiter. The limiter is the final stage right now on our mastering section, and this is just the simple default preset here from Pro L2. I'm not doing anything super duper. Let's go and put it on 0, and my target here is going to be hitting minus 10 somewhere there, because it's not such an EDM track, but if I want I can also push it to minus 10. Right now I am I'm just overdoing it because I wanted to test how loud it could sound without having any distortion. I am having like a -6.5 LUFS. If I go and deactivate the clip, you're going to see that right now I am hitting at -4.3, so now I don't have so much space in comparison with earlier. But let's go and bring it back. And there you have it. I have also a really pro tip for you guys. If you don't know what a plugin does or how it affects your track, it's better to leave it or learn about it before you go and apply it. Misusing plugins can really ruin your mix, and always take the time to understand the tools that you are using. I have learned this the hard way. By the way, do you remember at the beginning that I mentioned gain staging? If you're unsure about gain staging, check out my video here where I go and dive deeper into it.